All right. Happy Friday, y'all. I hope you guys had an amazing week. We've heard really good things from Lindsay and Carly, I believe is her name. I didn't hop on the one that was previous to that one, but I'm sure it was good. Hold on, Callie. Hey, she's hitting my dog. So yeah. So today we are gonna go in with this book. Not last week, but the previous week, we went over about procrastination and how it's really hard to get through things because of procrastinating, putting things off. We're doing difficult tasks. And how procrastination can hurt us, right? It gives away opportunities. We resist desired actions, we lose self-esteem, we make bad decisions, and we damage our reputation, and we will experience like anxiety, depression, things like that, with procrastination, because when we do put things off and we don't get them, what is the name of the book? It is called How to Set Goals with Hazen and Ikigai, something like that. um, and so today we are going to talk about self-doubt. I think that is a huge one for a lot of people. I know for myself as well. But if you want to make me post, yes, that would be perfect. Let me find your name. Co-host. Okay, perfect. You are co-host. Thank you. Appreciate that. So this week we are talking about, or today we are talking about self-doubt. This one is a big one, and for our future, for presently. And I have a task for y'all to do this week, until our next time we dive deep into this book. So for your task, if you want to write this down, think of the last time that you thought you were doomed to fail, but then you performed the task and succeeded anyways. Um, and for my example is that Thrive-A-Palooza, I have a really hard time, we'll back up. I have a really hard time just getting out there and handing out many experiences. Like it's just, it's hard for me because my self-doubt is thinking like, oh, what if they're mean to me? What if they say no to me? What if like they give me a like snarky look or something, like those things keep feeding my brain, and it pushes me back to do things like this. Thrive-A-Palooza, I gave a mini out to an old feller. And he knew what Thrive was. All right. That was my opportunity. I seen it and I took it. Thank you to Tracy for giving me the mini to do it. And I got their info. I emailed him, just waiting for an email back. He's older. I don't. That's all. He was busy. So that self-doubt of me thinking of all that stuff just kind of went away, and I seen an opportunity and I just went with it. And um, somebody was talking about, and I can't remember who. I'm sure there's a lot of people that had said it, but if we're not hearing no's, if we're hearing more like if we're not hearing enough no's, we're not doing what we should be doing, right? That's part of our thing. Like people are gonna tell us no, and it is what it is. We can't help the fact that they don't want it at that time. So that no is just meaning that it's not now, right? So self-doubt, do you have faith only in the inevitable of your own future? Do you find yourself thinking, I will not succeed, I am not good enough for this, I can't do this? These statements are your worst enemies in goal setting. So that's your task, is to think of a time you were doomed to fail, but then you perform the task anyways. Because after you keep thinking that you're not going to be able to do it, you're not going to succeed, but you push that fear aside and do it, you know how good that feels? I was like, man, that wasn't even hard at all. Like I did that, you feel really good. And then you start to feel like, oh, well, I'm gonna go ahead and do it again. And you find yourself consistently pushing that fear out and doing the things that you need to do in order to grow. The next one is the mind quits before the body does. But so long as your mind is determined to attain something, most external elements can be worked out. So for me, like, have you ever felt like when you want to do something, like your heart is like pumping super, super fast, like your body wants to do it, but then your mind like stop like, hold up, lady, like we gotta think this through. What if, hey, kids, sorry, like your mind starts thinking like, hold up, lady, like what if this happens? What if that happens? Like if you're like me, I am an overthinker. I am overthinking every possible situation before I do it. And that's where my self-doubt comes in, like, oh, well, if you can't do that because you're just not confident or something. Hold on. Let's see what my kid's doing. All right, sorry, y'all. I heard some banging. I don't. Okay, you can stay. So, yeah, so our mind quits before our body does. And so like when our mind stops, we stop and we're not doing it. Like how I was talking to you guys about the long G, the Lang Chai, that's what it is, death by 1,000 cuts. That we're trying to understand why we fail. And so the self-doubt is one of the 1,000 cuts of why we're failing at doing something. Maybe something in the past is making you fill yourself with self-doubt and you're not pushing out of your fear. Or maybe like you just never really thought of having like knowing your worth or something. Maybe you've never really like cared about wanting your dreams to come true or your value to show or something. I am a huge yellow, and um, it's one of my biggest struggles, self-doubt. So um, but if you doubt your abilities, then you guarantee that no external element will save you anyway. Having faith in yourself, give yourself grace. We say it all the time, give yourself grace, find or have that faith in yourself is an ongoing exercise that requires regular practice, right? Like we have to do personal development. I see, thank you. They just tore my VCR tape. That's awesome. That's probably a classic Disney movie too. Anywho, um, so yeah, so having faith in yourself is an ongoing exercise that requires a lot of practice. Like I said, personal development every single day. We have to do that because if we stop that momentum, we stop having faith in ourselves that we can or cannot do this, right? See, yeah. And then another tip that I had too, like if you do feel like your heart is like pumping because you want to do something, but your mind is telling you not to do it, just stop, take a breather. If you have to like walk into a different room, do it. And write your pros and cons down. Like let that green come out, write a list of like, okay, well, pro, what if they do say yes and I give them mini experience? That could be a customer. Con, well, what if they do say no? What is going to happen, things like that. Just write a little list down and maybe that can help like soothe like an anxiety thing that you have going on. Or if you write down and you have more pros, then you need to knock that self-doubt out and just go do it because you got the facts right there, right? So just have faith in yourself. That is like the biggest thing. And yeah. So let's list some reasons that your brain is feeling self-doubt so you can remain of why this emotion is occurring. Um, reason one, reason one is lack of experience, right? Self-doubt is a natural result of lack of experience, right? Sometimes we're not that strong person and we take control of a situation or we take control of a project or something because we're not familiar with it. We don't want to mess up. We don't want to fail. We don't want other people to think that we may not be doing enough, or it could be a list of things. So a lack of experience is a lot of self-doubt. When you don't know anything about a task, you doubt about your ability to do it, right? This is rational, but letting it become your permanent reality is a very bad choice. It takes over. So if you can't put off every task, because of lack of experience. You can't put off every task because of lack experience. Then it just becomes excuses, right? You're not growing if you keep putting it off because you keep saying, well, I've never done this before, so I don't feel comfortable doing this. You can't say it every single time. There has to be a point in time where you're like doing the naughty thing and you know what I'm talking about, and saying Chris's face. Because you just have to give it the little birdie and say, I can do this, okay? I don't have sailor's mouth, so any hoosers. So you have to just stop giving yourself excuses. You have to quit justifying things and just do it. That's called self-action or something like that. I don't know. So if you do, you'll necessarily be an experience forever, right? Sometimes we have to grow. And this is the one thing that I hate when businesses say, you have to have 1, 2, 3, go. That's right. 1, 2, 3, go. So and this is like the businesses like where they're like, oh, well, we can't hire you because you have no experience. Well, duh, I'm trying to get experiences. Like, hire me. It makes me, oh, that's another subject. I hate that. But I guess go find it somewhere else. There's so many opportunities knocking at your door. You have 365 days in a year to find opportunities. Go find them. If it's not today, girl, I'm sure it's gonna be tomorrow. So quit putting off a task because you can't say it's a lack of experience every single time. Otherwise, why would you begin learning the task at all? Every expert says, or every expert starts as a beginner. That's what you need to recognize in order to stop doubting yourself, your own skill level too much. Reason 2, perhaps you've had a bad experience. This is a big one too, because what if that one time you're like, oh, well, I did it and it didn't go very well. And you're like, well, I really suck at it. I guess I won't do that again. I've had that plenty of times. But mistakes of the past and perhaps their persistent consequences also create, sorry, y'all, if they're being too loud, also create self-doubt. So, like past mistakes can reflect huge in the future. This is why we're trying to figure out what are some things that you were doomed to fail, right? Like the task, but you did it anyways. Because I'm sure we're all going to have bad experiences especially if we're pushed out of our comfort zone. This is our learning. This is our growing. We have to get pushed past that. That way we can be good at it sometime in the future. I mean, not everything happens within a day. Reason 3, is there a doubtful voice in your head? You doubt yourself because other people tell you you're no good. Criticism from others can take the place of your inner voice. You hear those voices in your thoughts, which tell you how incapable you are of doing something, not being good enough. Is feeling that often comes from people we surround ourselves with. So if you are constantly surrounding yourself with negative people, you're going to start becoming a negative person. That goes with Mindset Mondays, right? I think it was Rachel who said, or maybe it was Courtney, and then they followed up. But you can't keep feeding those weeds. You have to grow those positive thoughts. You can't do that around negative people because you are good enough. We all deserve a good life. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, please don't do it back. And will you go over there for a minute? Okay, we'll go in your room and hide from her. Go in your tent. Quick, run before she gets you. Okay, so don't let the crippling self-doubt of your distant past follow you throughout your hey, please go, Mama's trying to do something. You're not the same person you were 10 years ago. You're not the same person. And we grow out of toxic relationships. Hey, you too, please go over there. Sorry, guys. And so reason number 4, Bubba, please let me do something. No, well, here, take this and go sit over there with it. Well, you're not sitting right here right now. Thank you. Reason 4 is, do you think it is all about luck? Many people believe that goal attainment is about luck and not about working hard or developing a skill set. This belief sees our self-doubt. You might think luck is everything, but that no amount of hard work can increase your chance of success. Luck is a factor, yes, but luck is merely a combination of favorable surroundings. Almost like you're too comfortable in a situation and you're okay where you are, but you find yourself lucky here and there and you're okay with it. But luck is mostly dependent upon the environment in which you hone your skills, your habits, and your hard work. Even if your only skill is the ability to snatch purses and you work at this skill every day, then eventually you will have a lucky encounter. Okay, 1, do not snatch purse from somebody. Okay, I will hunt you down, especially if it's an old lady. 2, luck is a thing, but you're not going to get that every day, and you can't solely let yourself say like, oh well, maybe today is my lucky day. You have to continue to work with what you're doing, and maybe you will have an extra lucky day, but you can't solely just say, oh well, today's my lucky day, and then just stop what you're doing and not work at anything, because you're not going to get anywhere in life if you just stop working. You have to work at something to be able to find that extra luck. In reason 5, do you surround yourself with negative people? As the odd self-help dictates, we are the sum of the 5 people closest to us, meaning, so if those 5 people are doubtful of their own abilities, you will also become doubtful of yours. And even if you do display proficiency or confidence, negative people will perceive this as overconfidence and criticize your industriousness. This criticism may lead to self-doubt, right? Like, how many times have like we've figured out like our value, our worth, and we're confident. Somebody's like, oh well, you're oh my gosh, what is that word? It starts with a C. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I can't remember the word. It will come to me though. It'll come to me. Just give me a minute. But you're so like you're in this really good mind space, and that everybody is like, oh well, you're over confident, or it just brings you down. That word's gonna bother me now, because my brother used to say it to me all the time. Back in the day with MySpace and everything, taking selfies, looking in the mirror and stuff, and those people will
Conceited.
Conceited, yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know why I could not think of that word. But yes, so when we're doing good and we do find out that boost of confidence, and other people, those negative people who haven't found theirs yet, they're gonna think you're conceited, and you're not. You have just found your confidence, and those people just haven't found theirs yet. So you just have to like help them find theirs, or just move past them, because it is okay to outgrow somebody. It is okay. Um, so whether your friends do it deliberately or at a subconscious level doesn't really matter. You'll soak up that negative energy in whatever environment you allow yourself to swim in. Reason number 6, do you comfort yourself with doubt? This is a huge one. Almost like I was saying earlier, like you are just comfortable because you justify what is happening and you're just okay with it. You're feeling comfortable with it. Doubt is a type of fear which keeps you in the comfort zone. This fear has utility to early humans. Doubt and fear helped keep your ancestors alive and encourage them to stick to familiar territories and ways of doing things. But overcoming these doubts is what leads us to become the species we are today. In the modern world, self-doubt can be more of a hindrance than a tool. It keeps us in our comfort zones and prevents us from engaging in activities that might be beneficial. After all, it exclaims, there is no need to start that new software company or travel the world. Such things can be risky. Oh my gosh. This is network marketing, y'all. This is network marketing. We can tell people all day that this is what we're choosing because we know, we see it every day that people, not saying to quit your job or anything, we see it every day that people quit their job and they're living like, ooh, really, really good, right? We want that. We yearn for that. And then we have our family, right? That's a lot of people's problems that their families like, oh, that's risky. I remember when Krista had quit, and I hope her husband's not around, or maybe it's her family. I can't remember, but they were saying that is risky. Like, that's not a real job. That's not real income, right? Like, that is self-doubt because that puts something in your head and you're like, well, maybe I can't do this. Well, what if I don't get enough customers and I can't get that income? Like, you don't want that in your head. You can do this. You have to work at it to do it, but you can get there. So yeah, so just, it can be risky, yeah, but if you 100% believe in what you're doing and knowing the lives you're changing and knowing what you can get from this should be enough for you to be able to risk it for the biscuit. As long as you're in your comfort zone and like not taking away too much from your family, you have to balance that out yourself. But you know that we have amazing products. You know that there are people who quit their job. Love you. You know that there's millionaires, right? You know this. So we just have to work hard to get there. And there might be situations where we fail, but doesn't mean that you stop. You just get back up and prove them wrong. Like, yeah, this failed, but it's a business. It's a business. You're not working for somebody else. This is yours. So you have to make of it. Um, so the other one is, what happens when you keep doubting yourself? Can you see why it's so important to get a grip on this crippling disease called self-doubt? I hope you're committed to this task, because if you're not, then other bad characters. What? Sorry, I got a phone call. Spam. Anyways, I hope you're committed to this task, because if you're not, then other bad characteristics will follow, and these are negative attributes that further move you away from your life goals. When self-doubt becomes crippling forces in your life, here are some ill effects which likely will follow. You lose your willpower. Your personal will is your ability to fight for what you believe in or what you want out of this life. But self-doubt makes you think that you don't deserve anything at all. So your willpower also starts to diminish. You may actually seek out reasons as to why you should stop following your goals, and those reasons will quite easily find you and ruin your motivation for good. The other one is when you pity yourself and regret too much. This is a huge one too. A constant sense of self-doubt generates a sense of self-pity. Every time you doubt your abilities, you fail in your mind. That failure makes you emotionally stressed, disappointed. That emotional pain is affected just as much as physical pain. You feel sad and angry, which leads to multiple regrets in your life. Self-doubt doesn't let you start something where regrets make you feel sad about the things you didn't start earlier. Both feelings are destructive in your life. And they work together to ruin any future plans that you should be constructing in your mind. The other one is your personal growth stops. Personal growth happens when you fight the odds and conquer failure with hard work. An intense effort, which requires determination, no matter how bad you feel inside. Belle, will you get that off of her? Thank you. But doubting yourself means you put a question mark on everything you do. Your personality, skills, determination, confidence, experience, your whole very existence becomes doubtful. You question about your capabilities and your ability to grow. You lose your sense of creativity. It is our creativity that allows us to think outside of the box and do. Bubba, get that off of her, please. Help her. You find unique solutions. Hold on. Perfect. Um, so, okay, so your creativity allows us to think outside the box and find unique solutions to problems. You need your creative life force in your financial life as well as your personal life. Creativity comes from a place of confidence. You need courage to test out your new innovations and ideas. Self-doubt is the enemy of creativity. Write that down. Self-doubt, look, I feel like Isaac now. Self-doubt is an enemy of creativity, guys. That is huge. Self-doubt is a tool we must tame. I hope I have been able to convince you of how crippling self-doubt can be. You want to draw? Okay. Self-doubt is so crippling, and self-doubt in your brain way of preventing you from doing anything too risky. We should not fear it, but we must continually strive to be cognizant of all times when self-doubt is from my book. When self-doubt comes into play. So anytime you feel like you're finding yourself falling, no, I'm almost done. I know mommy's holding it. I'm almost done. Hey, girlfriend. Hey, you. See, life with kids, y'all. Life with kids. Okay, I am almost done. Promise. Anytime you feel yourself falling into a pit of self-doubt and self-loathing, pause for a moment. Ask yourself if the doubt is rational, given your present situation. What you'll find is most self-doubt has no basis in rationality at all. So when you think that self-doubt is playing a role in whatever situation you are, like I said, take a breather, walk away, and ask yourself, what is it that is stopping me from doing it? Why couldn't you not do it? Because you can do it. Just ask yourself all these questions, and you'll be able to knock that self-doubt out of the park, and you will continue to grow into something amazing. And then next week, that's all I have for y'all right now. But next week is about laziness, which I'm pretty excited to share with y'all too. So, anybody have any questions? Look in the chat real quick. Okay. No questions? No? Well, all right. Well, I will let you go. Everybody want to do it? Huh? I see Birdie. She turned her camera on. Okay, y'all. Arms up. Here we go. Turn it around. Catch yourself on the back. You guys got on this Zoom. Thank you so much. You guys are continuing to grow on hopping on these Zooms, and I hope you guys took away something from this. And have an amazing Friday, amazing weekend. You guys got this. All right. Bye.
Bye.